What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 3 of Pop the Hood.
Today we got Quattro Labs with us. We have Art and Musa here. They've really taken their social media platform, grown it a lot in the past year, and have hosted some of the best car meets in Michigan.
What's going on, guys?
What's up?
Thanks for having us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No problem. So let's get right into this, all right? How did you guys start this? Simple question.
Okay, we're going to start with the longest answer.
Yeah.
How did I get started? And specifically the shop?
It's specifically just the whole brand itself. How did this idea come about that I want to get into the car
I like
scene?
that you called it a brand because most people call it a shop, but it's more than just that.
Right.
So I'm going to answer that question by telling you, when I originally got the idea, it was probably sitting in the back of my head for about 2 years, okay, since about 2023, early 2023. And that's when I started getting into cars. And I was a customer myself of a lot of shops, getting wraps, getting tints done, and all types of customizations. And one thing I always noticed was that I would go to these young shops, and they were always run by young people. And anytime I'm in a industry that I know makes a lot of money and I see young people are killing the game, for somebody like me, that gives me a lot of confidence, before I enter. And so it was sitting in my head for a while, and then I traditionally come from a world where I do all my business online. And, think about the e-com, the drop shipping, like SMMA agencies. That's my whole world. And so it was really different for me to say, I'm going to put myself out there and actually open something that is physical, brick and mortar business, right? But finally, about March of 2024 now, that's when I was like, okay, I'm actually going to test this. This is the first time everyone's going to hear about this. But for the first month, we grew a lot in followers, right? I think right now we're number 1 most followed in the whole state of Michigan.
For sure. No, I definitely agree. You guys blew up pretty quick.
We did. And
it.
so for the first month, what was my approach to this whole business? I said, you know what? It is going to take a lot of money up front to open something like this. I don't have experience in customizations, previously. And so I said, let me test the idea. I posted on Instagram for about 30 days. Okay, 3 videos every single day. So 90 videos in a single month with 30 hashtags on a video. So do the math, multiply 30 hashtags times 90. I was split testing different hashtags, seeing the algorithm, split testing, timing, 50-second videos, 1-minute videos. And I found that the videos that do the best on Instagram, Reels specifically, are 1 minute plus. Mm-hmm. Okay. And a lot of people argue with me on that. And I always tell these guys, anytime someone tries to tell me how we should grow our Instagram or the fact that we shouldn't be putting out 1 minute plus videos, they always are 2,000 followers, 3,000 followers. Speak to the people that actually built up 100K plus. That's when it's hard.
Yeah.
You can get...
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So while you were getting those, so you were putting out these videos, you said you were doing like, what's it called, 3 a day?
3 a day.
Correct? So were you making 3 videos a day?
Well, it was an archive I had built up for 6 months. I was messaging all my friends, hey, send me any car videos you have. I had all car friends, so they'd have videos drifting out. They'd have videos burning out. And for about 6 months, I had this stockpile. So a lot of them were old videos. Some were even from like 2020 of my friends. I don't even know what it was. It was such an old car. But point is, after about 30 days, we had 10,000 followers, and that's when I hosted my first meet. I was like, let me see how many people can come into a parking lot together and actually like put their money where their mouth is. They say they support the brand. Will they show up? And I had 30 people there.
Yeah.
Which to me was a lot.
What was that first meet?
That first meet was April.
Of the same
First
year?
week of April, yeah. So about 4 weeks after I launched the page. And yeah, about 30 people. And it was funny because like I always try to prepare ahead for things, and so I showed up there with a megaphone. Thinking like, oh, just in case I'm gonna need this megaphone, let me bring it. So I'm in front of 30 people that probably are the size of this room. You could fit them all in here. But it was funny, there's videos out there, some people have me with this megaphone in front of 20 people, and I was saying in that megaphone, I was like, wait until the next meet, like we're gonna have 200, 300 people. And then we hosted the canteen about 4 months after that.
Mm-hmm.
The canteen definitely over 1,500 people.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yep.
So going from that, you started, your first meet had like 30 people, you said. Like nobody showed up, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What did you do different from that first meet to your next one that had over 1,500 people?
That's a good question. Time and patience. A lot of times brands have great storytelling, have great messaging, and people resonate with it. That's what happened with us, right? People really resonated with the look, the feel, the content. And so I knew from the beginning that it would get to a point where 500 people would all say, yeah, I'll show up to an event. But I knew that the only thing it would take is repeated messaging and time stretched out. So it took about 4 months of people just listening to us, watching our posts, and then eventually, they come out to the point where they're like, let me actually support these guys.
Yeah, for sure. So out of all I see you guys have a lot of followers. How many of those are like dedicated fans that come out to all your meets?
Dedicated fans.
Like that you talk to or interact with on like a kind of decent basis?
That's a great question, man, because I've met so many people in this industry just from like they reaching out, they're supporting. And honestly, Musa talks to a lot of these people now too. And because what we did was we built up this whole team in-house of everyone that's at the shop has a Quattro account, right?
I noticed that. Yeah.
So Quattro Connor.
Yeah, you got like 7 of them.
And he's a great videographer for us. We have Quattro Beard, Quattro Adam, I think. A lot of Quattro.
Yeah, you got James, you got Gianna.
You know about Gianna. Gianna's
I was looking.
Quattro Gianna did car interviews at the canteen. But so I want Musa to talk about Rich Red, who's shout out to Rich Red if he's watching this, one of our biggest supporters.
Oh,
Yeah, I kind of got involved when I was teaching before this.
okay.
And I met Art through my brother, and he was involved with Quattro Labs first. And I see there's a lot of potential too, and it's a really nice community they got going. So I put in my 2 weeks, left, and just went to fill in on Quattro Labs. And thankfully, it's been going really well. It's growing. And I know when he puts a lot of work into the social media. People don't know how much work it takes.
Yeah.
Social media. I guess it's its own thing. So running operations and trying to run social media is it's really hard. So.
Yeah, totally separate things.
Yeah.
So is everybody in the team like people you've met through the industry, or is it people you've known?
No. No, they always say don't make business with your friends.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid because I only work with my friends. I've known Musa for, 2 years now? About 2 years.
And I'm always bouncing ideas off him, like, hey, like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And he's, like a sketch, whatever it is.
So like putting you 2 weeks in, it wasn't like you weren't doubting or nothing. You were just like,
honestly,
yeah.
That was like, I really enjoyed the job. There wasn't never a day where I didn't enjoy going to work when I was teaching. But I felt like, I felt it was a calling. Honestly, it's been so good. We're still always constantly working on the shop, trying to upgrade, trying to do different things. And, his thing is like, he's always trying to do social media and trying to grow that, and that takes a lot of time. So
Yeah.
trying to do operations and that, it's, it can get really crazy.
So going to like the involvement of you in Quattro Labs, you're working at the shop right now, right?
Yeah, like I'm there, like I could.
Musa manages all the relationships,
All of it.
man.
I could be there at 7 in the morning, or I could be there like I swear sometimes we go to like 2 a.m.
Whenever.
Dang.
No
We
way.
go late, yeah. There's a time we slept there, right?
Multiple times.
Yeah, he's like I was pulling up in the shop and he was sleeping, and then I just whipped the door open and he hasn't slept yet. He's like,
Dang.
I was sleeping there. Look, it was a long night, and we had a customer coming in at like 7:30 in the morning. And so I said, you know what? Instead of driving home, I'm just going to lay on the couch for 10 minutes till this guy comes here. It's already 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so I'm laying there, and he's got the keys, so he can come in whenever he wants. It's all locked. The guy comes in from the back and opens it up, and I was just sleeping there. And like, it's like... Yeah. But
Dang.
I honestly, man, it's not just us. A lot of shops have young people that are dedicated,
Yeah.
And I know a lot of shops out there work 24 hours a day, legitimately. They will let a customer come in at 3 in the morning, And it's just the nature of the industry. When you have a lot of young people, I think sweat equity isn't a thing that gets ignored. Young people might not have the most experience, but we all work really hard, for our age.
Oh, I agree for sure.
so shout out to Connor. Connor's always doing the work in the back.
Jamie.
Never kid out here, like, you don't see him too much, but like he's always doing like a lot
Yeah,
of,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And he does like a lot of things that you don't notice, but it's a good thing.
Hmm.
So since you started, you've done the same exact job. Like,
So yeah, like I've been here since I've been working. So I was
It-
working and teaching. I was going after school to Quattro. So
Okay,
let me just
okay, yeah.
leave and then do that in the morning. And
Hmm. How many people do you have working at the shop?
Oh, it rotates, man. At any given point, say like maybe like 10 to 15 people, and that's when you split. Like, obviously, I've got different team to do all the social media, different team to do like tints, different people to do reps. But we're always hiring if anyone wants to apply.
Yeah. So would you say that you do more of the social media work and you kind of manage more of like the actual business, like and working and all the employees?
that's kind of getting to that point where it's like he has involved in office and operations too.
Mhm.
But sometimes running a social media page, you gotta kind of separate the two.
right.
Because
Bro, it's a full-time job running
It
a
takes
social
lot.
media page.
No, 100%. It takes a lot.
you gotta keep the numbers. You gotta run like tests to see like
Yeah.
what's gonna pop off. What's
Mhm.
Yeah.
Every post you put is like all eyes on it. To see. So, but that's kind of right now. Basically, I'm there. I'm taking the calls and stuff. And
Mhm.
he's doing like everything else marketing. He does
The whole
all
marketing, yeah.
all the social media.
Yeah. So what's your goal on how many videos to like get out a week or a month? Do you guys have a certain goal, or does it just kind of depend
That's
on
such
how
a good
busy the
question,
shop
man.
is?
No, that's a great question because I don't know if anyone's noticed. We're filming this podcast on February 9th.
Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't posted on that page in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And you saying that to me right now just makes me think about what did I say my goal was? Well, my goal is always 30 minimum a month. But we are, like I said, the team's constantly changing. And part of that change means there's periods of time where I sit back and I'm like, what's the next wave of content that I'm going to make? Because if you actually look at our page in detail, you'll notice every 3 months the content switches up, the angle, right? And we went from like street videos to car meet videos. It was all car meet videos. And then we went to this like skits in the studio with the girls and like the tests of the trunk. And so I just finished off that period of time where I'm looking back now and I'm saying, what's the next type of content going to be? And I got an idea now what it's going to be. And we have a whole new editor, but now I'm going to get back to about 30 a month starting from next week. 30 every single month. And like one tidbit for everyone that wants to learn about social media is it's all about consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
I would like to do 3 a day. Do I realistically have the bandwidth for it? No. But if somebody wants to do 10 times a day, even better. The more the better for Instagram. The more the better. And same thing with TikTok. And we've scaled so many accounts. We've scaled a plumbing account because I have a plumbing company. We scaled that in like 2 months to 30,000. A house cleaning account. House cleaning got to 60,000 followers. So the algorithm's all about consistency.
Yeah. So you're saying you have 2 other businesses you run with Quattro.
Mm-hmm.
How involved are you with those, or how do those work? Just a quick little summary.
Yeah, I mean, they're not super involved. There's no brand building. There's no storytelling, none of that. Those service-based companies like that are simple to make. Anyone out there could do it. And once they're running for about a year and you have a good team, the leads just come in and people just call. I'm not shooting videos of us cleaning houses and making a
Right.
brand
Yeah.
around it.
Yeah, so like when it comes to that though, is it like you're the plumber or you're getting
No.
the leads and then you're
That's
like
such a good
you're
question.
getting a call and then you're
Everybody's
hiring
first
the plumber.
question, they look at me like, you do plumbing?
Yeah.
But no, I got a good team of technicians, man.
Okay.
And I basically just manage like operations, marketing, make sure that we're getting enough customers.
Yeah,
That's all.
so someone calls and you're like, all right, John, go.
That's
go get the
literally what
plumbing
it
in.
is. That's
You know,
exactly
he
how it
needs his
is.
sink fixed or something.
What he does is being humble. He actually does a lot of the stuff too. Like he knows how to do like details and everything. Like this guy will pop up randomly at 7 p.m. You'll find him doing like a random job and like
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
He gets,
Yeah.
Well, sometimes
gets
I
his
go
hand
out there.
dirty, yeah.
Sometimes I
Yeah.
do.
Or if there's like no one's available, you'll just tough
You'll
it out.
go.
Yeah, well, look, man. So we live in Michigan, and Detroit's some parts of Detroit aren't that safe to go out at 11. Okay, sorry, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
So if there's like one guy going at 11 p.m., I'll make sure like, hey, he needs 2 people with him. I'll go. You know, so I'll do things like that. But I always post this back on my Instagram is anytime someone's starting a business, it's so important for you to actually go out there and do the job yourself before you tell someone else to do it. Because that's the only way that you learn what he's going through when he's actually doing the job and you don't sound insensitive. Okay? Take plumbing. My plumber goes for a toilet to unclog a toilet and he comes back and calls me and says, hey, it didn't work. It's still, clogged up. And he tries explaining to me, but it's not me. It's because the toilet is this, that, and, the toilet has to be replaced. At the end of the day, the customer is going to call me and say, hey, he couldn't do the job. Now, how am I actually going to understand why it didn't go through and just take his word without having done it myself? So that's why it's important. But, yeah, I do try to go out maybe once a week. I'll do some jobs.
Not to mention the 3 a.m. lights.
3 a.m. lights.
The 0 degree weather.
Have you guys seen that video?
Yeah, it was like
at
I
the
think it was on a
canteen
tow truck or something. Oh no.
No, on the food trucks.
Oh, okay.
In Dearborn, man, this guy got the craziest picture. I wish Cotter could pull it up. He got the craziest picture in the snow.
Yeah, your profile picture. Right?
His profile
Is that
picture. Yeah. But yeah, that was a fun project, man. It took like a week of us in the cold putting lights on the cars. Really? But look, we're never doing lights again next year.
No.
I'm done with that.
Yeah. Was that a hard thing to do? I saw that this year lights were kind of a thing. I did that like 2 years ago on my truck.
Yeah, what'd you think?
And then all of a sudden this year, I see everybody doing lights. So,
right, it became big this year.
Yeah.
What did you think of the lights?
It was freezing those days. It has to be outside.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We'd be there like when the people leave, obviously, like around like 10 or 11 p.m. We go like, we stayed till like 6 a.m. I think we stayed till 6 a.m.
Oh yeah.
We were at home, but we had to we probably cut like 1 million pieces of tape.
And we learned about electrical stuff along the way because everybody would shut the door on their damn wires and call us back that my lights aren't working. So we learned how to splice and we got splicers. And I said, at one point, like 3 weeks into doing lights, I just looked at everybody and I went, yo, can I swear on you?
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck are we doing? We're not electricians. We're sitting here splicing cables for people and getting electric tape and like learning the difference between a copper wire versus this type. I'm like, yo, don't we tint cars?
Yeah. At this point, it's time to start another business, right?
Bro, I sat there for a minute. I said, yo, like, I could do electrician.
Literally, we're going to get the honest electricians out here next.
Oh, my God. You'd be surprised if... Working on it.
There you go. That's good. So what about, do you guys do any content on different platforms? I've seen you're on Instagram and Facebook, but like, are you on TikTok or YouTube, anything like that yet?
You're calling me out on everything I haven't done.
I do my research, man.
I know. And I haven't. Because time is one, which is an excuse, but don't have the time yet. The other thing is that I don't know the algorithms on TikTok and Facebook as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, they're totally different.
Do you also manage like your team's accounts or no? That's like on them.
No, they do it themselves.
They do it themselves.
Yeah, they do it themselves. But yeah, TikTok and and Facebook are cool to have, but I just don't think they're as like scalable or high converting like an Instagram. You're gonna get the picture of Musa up of Quattro beard.
Yeah, he got a hard picture.
There you go.
That's good. So
wow.
what's your persona? What's around that? You got this everybody else is Quattro and then their name, but you're Quattro Beard. Why is that?
I was choosing a name, and I guess people know me by my beard, so I just went with Quattro Beard. Like literally everyone's like, "What, is that Quattro Beard? Where's Quattro Beard?" I'm like,
No, I actually sat there for like a few days with him. I said, hey, before you make this account, think of a good name for yourself. And he thought for the longest time, what am I going to call myself?
I don't shave my beard. Like,
You never do?
I haven't shaved my beard in like 10 years, so.
So Quattro beard was
Can
the
you
move.
play? Is it going to play the audio?
Morning, 20 degree weather, putting Christmas lights on every food truck. Come check it out.
So this was your guys' food truck experience?
Yeah, man.
And how do you guys know the owners of this place?
Man, he's such a great guy, Hassan Shami. We hosted a car meet with him in August.
Yeah.
And we're going to be back there again this year. But it's a beautiful venue he built in Dearborn.
Yeah, no, it looked like a beautiful venue.
Yeah.
It looked like you guys had a good. So how do you meet all these connections for all the car meets you do? I saw you did the one at the canteen place, and then you did one at a coffee shop. I was wondering, how do you meet those people?
And you're asking as a fellow guy that hosts car meets,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you know the back end of it.
We do.
And you're picking my brain now, which I like. Instagram. Instagram is so big to make connections, and a lot of people neglect that, bro. Big time. But here's why I like Instagram. My biggest skill is lead generation. What does that mean? For 6 years, all I've been studying is how to generate leads for a business through email, through messaging on phones, through LinkedIn, and everything else. I found Instagram to be the #1 most casual and convenient way for someone to respond to a cold DM, because it's on the phone. They could be chilling in bed and they get a DM from you and they get, oh, who is this guy? Let me reply. And a lot of people like to reach out through email. They'll cold call. Those are good too, but they only work at scale. And especially with the presence we built in the account, you know, when I reach out to somebody for a car meet, they're interested in having the conversation because we built up the whole page, right? So yeah, I met him through Instagram DM.
Okay, all of them. For everybody you worked with, or no? Like, I didn't know
Most
if
people.
The first, I'll tell you right now. So, the first guy, right, that we hosted in the small parking lot, he reached out to us on Instagram DM. The second guy, I knew him personally at Canton. We hosted at Cups and Chai. The third guy, Instagram DM, right, that was at the canteen. The fourth one, we did it at actually the biggest haunted theme park in the whole state of Michigan in October, Scarefest Scream Park.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then take a guess how I got in contact with them.
Instagram DMs.
Instagram DMs. That's been the #1 for us, man. Instagram DM.
Yeah, and that's the same for us too. Every business we worked with is
Really?
all through either
Yeah, it's
Instagram
been
DM
Instagram.
or then word of mouth afterward. You know
And
what I
that's
mean?
why, see, having the Instagram page built up, back to my earlier point, is so much better than a TikTok or a Facebook, because you're not messaging accounts on TikTok to host a car meet. It just doesn't make sense. Instagram, you can,
Right.
right?
I get that.
So when is your first meet of this year gonna be? Do you guys have any plans for this coming up year, or is
Yeah,
it
I
still
do.
kind of going slow
I do. We're going to host a car meet inside of a gym.
inside of a gym?
Inside of a gym. There was a gym in Philadelphia that did it. It went crazy on TikTok. Like all these videos, people are like, POV, your gym hosted a car meet. And there's like a Lamborghini next to the weights and everything and all the machines. So we're going to do one inside of a gym. I'm not going to say what gym yet because I don't know if she wants me to share it. But it's a very beautiful gym. It's just brand new built. Huge gym. And so we're going to park the cars inside there, do like 30 to 40 cars. And then my goal this year for the biggest meet is I want to do like a fashion show car meet. Kind of how it went viral. Brabus did one where they were driving through on a runway.
Yeah.
I want to make that happen this year. That's my goal.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, if only Brabus built good cars. But
You don't like their cars?
That's besides
You
the
don't like
point.
Mansory over Brabus, huh?
They're all like, I feel like now put together like crap. Have you seen?
Oh,
the
you don't like
big-
Mansurys?
They're all right, but do you see the way like they do a lot of the work on them?
Although, and they're actually like making them?
Yeah, when they actually
It's
make
cheap
'em.
work?
Yeah, it's like cheap work.
Really?
Yeah, they're
With double
videos
the
always
price.
Come up on my Instagram
I ain't
reels,
never
bro.
seen those. I ain't never seen
Yeah,
those.
they just like put the hood like on top of it, like it's not
I
even,
just
like,
look at the
cutouts
finished
and stuff.
product.
Oh yeah,
Man.
the finished product looks cool.
So you're telling me they make it in Germany, right? All the Brabus stuff? Or where's
I mean,
it
that's
at?
where it started. Where it is now, I couldn't tell you.
Have you seen the BYDs? You know about what a BYD is? In China, the electric cars.
Oh yeah, it's like Tesla's competitor.
Bro, Tesla's not a competitor with BYD at all. In China, the technology is so far ahead of US electric. Their cars over there, say you have a Tesla Model 3 in the US, $35,000 car. A BYD is just like a Tesla for $10K US. Their $30,000 car, let me tell you what it does, their $30,000 electric. It will drive in water. It'll swim.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Not like a puddle. Like a lake. Not a puddle. You can put it in the water and it'll literally swim for $30,000 like a boat. And then you comes back on land and you drive. That's BYD.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, I know. I saw like a Elon Musk thing next, like the CEO of BYD and how much each company's worth. But
Who's worth more?
Elon.
Is he?
But BYD also started like 10 years before Tesla did. I think it started in '93.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's why branding is so important because Tesla is like you brought up the BYD. I don't know what.
Well, you want to get into why we don't know BYD? That's a whole nother conversation. And that goes into politics, okay? Because BYD is a Chinese company, and the U.S. does not allow BYD to sell their cars in the U.S. They have a 100% tariff on China. So, yeah, let's say a BYD is $10,000. When you bring it here, there's imports, this, that, and they won't even allow you to pass the safety inspections. China doesn't allow anything, U.S. doesn't allow anything related to China. Different conversation, though.
They don't even sell Huawei phones too. That's another.
Huawei phones. Huawei phones are some of the most superior, intelligent phones in the world. Okay? And you're not even allowed to.
Because they're Chinese.
Because they're Chinese. Same thing with TikTok. Look at TikTok.
I mean, yeah.
One of the
true.
most used apps in the whole U.S., and they'll pull it away because it's related to China.
Yeah.
That's why we don't hear of stuff. But China's such an advanced country.
Yeah, so you guys got a shop. How did you guys find that? This is your first brick and mortar business. How did you guys even get on that path to buying a shop or renting it, however that works? I don't even know.
Yeah, so I hate the process, man. It's not a fun process. Looking for a property. So specifically industrial zone buildings, meaning an automotive shop, they're very hard to come across, especially where we're from in Wayne County. And you might be surprised because you think Wayne County is all about automotive, industrial. There should be like a lot of shop buildings. No, the city gets rid of them over time because they're now trying to promote this walkable, tourism-based cities downtown. And so anything that's a shop, if the building goes vacant, the city gets rid of it. They get rid of it because they don't want that look inside of their city. That's why you'll never see a shop in a downtown city district. Think about it. It's all restaurants. Is that because a bunch of restaurant people say, I want to open here? No. It's because the city says you can only open a restaurant on this street. So same thing. So anyways, we spent like 4 months finding a good building. And once we did, we applied for it and you speak with the landlord. He tries to vet you and see if you're like a legitimate business person, because it's in his best interest to make sure your business does well. And if it doesn't, you can't pay your rent.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he interviewed me, and then about 3-4 days after the whole process started, it was done. It was very fast once we found the property, and we moved in there in July. Spent like 4 months renovating it, which we still are to this day.
What were you looking for when you were looking for a building?
I was looking for something like at least about 3,000 square feet, 2 to 3,000. Our current space is 2,000.
Was location like?
Location was important, definitely. There's parts of Detroit which is all industrial shops, meaning the rent is like half. And so we're on 14 Mile and Crooks Road, which is like a more expensive area than most, but I think it makes up for it because the clientele base you get is much better, right?
So might be a little weird question, but when you're actually redoing the shop, okay?
Yeah.
Like I saw you guys put a lot of upgrades into it, like epoxy floors and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Do you guys get that equity out of the shop, or does it come out of your rent, or you're just doing that like for the landlord?
What a great question, bro. Like, you think of the micro stuff, and I love it. So whenever you do something like that, it's kind of out of goodwill. As in, I'm not going to get anything from it. I just want my shop to look nice. If anything, I'm lucky that he gives me the privilege of modifying his building. But a lot of times if you're adding to it, then they don't mind. They don't mind. If anything, I just increase the value of his building by doing that, right? But some stuff you got to get permission from, and they'll say no. There's some stuff they'll say no on, but yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. And then if let's say there's an emergency, there's things he's responsible for. If all the plumbing goes bad, if the heat goes bad, he takes care of that. Is kind of the relationship.
Yeah, it's almost like an apartment or something.
Exactly. Now every landlord's different, so that's just how ours is.
Mm-hmm. So Musa, now you're working at the shop, all right? How did you get into like tinting cars, and what's the hardest skill you learned while doing that?
Honestly, when I first got in, just doing the right cut manually, when you're cutting, you gotta be super focused. Like, you can't have any distractions. You gotta be locked in. You you can't do it as like a something you're doing at the side, like you can't multitask. So you gotta be locked in when you're doing tank cuts. So I would say like the hardest thing is when you're making a cut, you gotta be focused. And if you get distracted, you're gonna be wasting film, and you gotta redo it. So that's the hardest thing. But when I first got in, I came in like this. I was just coming after school and just coming into work. And once I started getting the hang of it, I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna leave. I started coming in the morning and making that like just doing that all day.
Yeah. So are you busy almost every day, all day long?
Depends. I can be busy like 7 in the morning, or I can find a day where I'm like not at work till 11 or something, and then there till 12 a.m. So it can be like or all day. Like we've had days we've been there from like 7 in the morning to like 12 a.m.
Yeah. And how many cars can you guys do at one time?
One time?
Yeah.
All
How many cars can you
tinting?
fit in your shop?
How many do you think?
3 or 4.
I'm a bit more ambitious. I say like 6, but we never tested it.
Oh,
Because the other side.
Yeah, the other side. So there's the other side of the shop, which is basically like you chill, customer chill there, like Madden. Anybody want to get cooked?
Don't start with that.
And then
Because
there's another side. You pull cars in there too. So if you want to maximize, we can go up like 6 cars.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But usually you do 3 to 4 at a time.
Yeah.
Back, yeah. But we can always pull. Like we pulled in.
I wouldn't even want to have more than 3 to 4 people at a time in there. It's just too much commotion, man. You know?
It's you got like 15 people in there.
That's
like
what I'm
your
saying. And
employees,
like,
yeah.
at some point, it's like, it becomes
Too
a
much.
party.
Yeah.
Oh, like,
Too
yeah.
much.
I mean, tinting takes a lot of like focus, okay? Because like he said, the cutting is the hard part. If you're doing manual cuts around a specific frame or something, so yeah, we try not to.
So how long you had the building for?
Since July,
Since July last year.
July 1st, yeah.
Okay, nice. You ever? I mean, I guess it's too soon, right? But like, would you ever move shops, or would you try to open a secondary shop and keep that one?
Open a secondary and keep that one.
Keep that one.
Open it. So, we'll probably announce something like around early summer. Plans like for another location. Nothing's finalized yet, but that's one of my goals this year is to open up another location out on the west side.
Bigger shop or same, like about the
Bigger.
same? Bigger.
Bigger, yeah.
The west side of the state or the west side, like what?
I was so vague with that.
Yeah.
West of where we're at.
Okay. There you go.
No, there's certain pockets and cities that I noticed there's a gap in, and specifically for automotive. And without giving it away, how do I find a right city to go into? Is based on a couple of things. It's competition on Instagram. Okay, how good is everyone's Instagram marketing in the area? Can I tell if they're running ads around that city? It's their Google. You know, how many reviews do they have on Google? Do they have an insane number like 2,000 that I can never reach? Or is it all like 20 there, 30 there, you know? And then I simply just I look at their pricing, right? And I try to gauge how busy they are. And so sometimes I'll call in the city to the business and I'll be like, hey, how far out is your schedule? Like, I want to book an appointment, you know, and they might say, hey, we're booked out 2 weeks. I'll go, okay, there's customers over here. You know, or some might say, honestly, you can come in the next hour. We're open. And I know, okay, that city probably doesn't get a lot. So I survey stuff like that, and I have a list of some cities that I know would be good to go into.
Yeah. Do you guys do meets, or do you guys plan to do a meet at your shop? Or any way to bring your followers in?
Not yet, no. I've juggled with it, but I don't know if we have the right space for that at this current moment. And if I were to host a meet at my shop, I would want it to be a good one, you know, and I would want to wait for the right time.
Yeah. How many spots do you think you'd have at your shop right now if you were to host a meet?
How many do you think? Yeah, parking lot. About I could fit 40 cars
Okay.
if we all packed up like sardines.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of
Well,
a
the
car meet.
surrounding area, because sometimes people park outside.
Yeah, I mean the surrounding. I mean, yeah, you could definitely like within like a half block fit like 150 cars, 200 cars in the back. Yeah.
But I will say, anyone's welcome to come and check it out.
Yeah.
Anyone's welcome to come. You guys want to hear a crazy story?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so when he said anyone's welcome to come, like I cringed a little. because not anyone is welcome to come. Okay, everybody is welcome, but not anyone is welcome. Here's why I say it. So, like, you know, we spent a lot of months working on renovations and things like that, right? Where we're kind of in there. The shop's not open, right? Because we're working on it, but I might be in there. We're working on flooring, whatever. And so, like, we had, like you guys said, fan base, people reach out. So it's like 2 a.m. there, and I'm working on something by myself because I was in the area on my laptop. Nobody's supposed to be there. And, like, the door's open or whatever. And some guy just walks in. He goes, "Hey, are you guys Quattro Labs?" And he's like, I'm like, "Oh, yeah." He goes, "Oh, man, I looked you guys up on Google Maps. Like, I wanted to stop by the place and check it out." I'm like, "We're not open, man." And he's like, "Oh, well, on the Google it says 24 hours. So, like, I'm just coming in." I'm like, "Okay, what do you need?" And he goes, "Nothing. I just want to introduce myself and, like, you know, I came up to you at the car meet, and you said I could get a tour of the shop one day. And so I just wanted to come by." And I said, like, you know,
That's
you reach
crazy,
out to me.
right.
And I was just so surprised.
Yeah, maybe like schedule something.
Schedule
Right.
something. It was, like, random, late at night. And so I gave him his tour for, like, 2 minutes. And then from that point on, we switched to appointment only because I started to think in my head, I'm going to start getting people that just show up to show up. And I'm not at that point yet. We're not at that point fundamentally as a business to where we're just ready for anyone to come. You know, we got to still get our processes in place. Okay.
Have you had any experiences like that too?
No, no.
Were you there?
No, I wasn't
No.
with them, but there was someone that came like regular time hours, sane, came in and seen and left. So it's normal.
Yeah. Sometimes you get nice people. They drive by and they shout out from because our garage door stays open. They drive. They go, "Quattro Labs." They're like, "Yeah, man."
And some people are weird. Show up at 2 a.m.
See, I hope my 2 a.m. stalker isn't watching. Okay, man. But that wasn't cool.
That's crazy. I would not know what to do. Someone just walked in. Imagine someone walking in your house at 2 a.m.
I gave him his tour, man.
I wouldn't give him a tour.
Right.
No, but
I mean, you were nice enough to give him a tour,
he
though.
was like just a young, like, normal kid, man. He wasn't, and I was like, okay, and he wouldn't take the message to, you know, not be there. So, yeah.
That's funny.
So that's why anybody welcome, but not everybody welcome.
That's why I said not everybody.
So if you had to go back like 2 years from now, would you think that you're sitting where you're at today?
Somebody asked me that.
Both of you guys.
Yeah, Musa, go first.
I gotta go back 2 years.
Yeah. Do you think you'd be where you're at today?
Well, honestly, this came to me like last year. So this is like I wasn't thinking about cars or anything this time like last year. This came like somewhere between maybe in the middle of the year, and it kind of just I went with it. So, but I was doing other things, but I'm in the same position right now. I'm like I wouldn't think so. I'm grateful.
For me, no, not at all. When you asked me that question, I just had this conversation with somebody 2 days ago, and I told him, like, I never thought I would be doing what I'm doing right now, especially even with the shop. I mean, 2 years ago, I was in college. It was 2023, so I was in my senior year, finishing off, and I really honestly thought I would just stick to marketing because I had my agency running for about 2 years up to that point. But it just came to a time, man, where I was like, I'm doing too many things digitally. This internet money wave is great for young kids because anyone can become an entrepreneur. But the difficult part of it is that you start to forget how to actually go out there and make meaningful business connections and build physical customer relationships like this right here. And so you get stuck in this bubble where you're used to working on a computer all day and interacting with people halfway around the world. That's literally what internet money is like. And so one of my goals was I need to really start going out and making social connections, social wealth, which I think is even more powerful than regular wealth, monetary wealth, is social wealth. And you think about it like a pyramid, right? Monetary wealth, social wealth, physical body wealth, you know? And so I think it's really important to maximize all those different pillars. And so for anyone that does internet style money, e-com, whatever it is, always try to like go out there and start something physical. And I have plans actually to do more brick and mortar businesses this year. I really want to get into Pilates. Pilates studio. And I've talked about it on Instagram. So yeah, it's a great industry to be in, and it's fun. You know, it's not a boring industry. It's growing super fast, and everybody's getting into it. And your reaction right there when I said it, because it's funny, right? And I think it would be a challenging, fun experience. It's random. But yeah, I did not think I would be here 2 years ago, to answer your question.
So would you be the teacher too?
The teacher.
For Pilates?
This guy's funny. No, but you know, that would go against my whole thing where I said you have to try it out at least once, right?
Yeah, I'll show up to that class.
That's one thing I'm not gonna do.
Would you open a place for Pilates? Because you don't have a place for your plumbing business, right? It's just calls and then you send
For the Pilates, yeah.
You would open something.
I would open a physical Pilates studio, okay? And the idea that I would want to do is completely immersive Pilates. So Pilates in different climates, in different environments, simulate that landscape for people. Because Pilates is more than just a movement exercise, it's mental. It's one of the most enduring exercises that you can. I had to read a lot about it when I was looking into it. And I think one thing that a lot of Pilates studio owners miss out on is they'll give you the studio and they'll make it look decent, but they already dumped so much money into the reformers that the rest of the place doesn't really look as nice. And for, you know, targeting a female market, I think making the place look really modern and urban is super important, you know? And so I want to take the experience side of, you know, like, let's say you host a Pilates class where it's like you're simulating a cold environment. So you bring the room temperature down to like 40 degrees and you have snow, fake snow falling out from the sky, you know, and like the whole room is like the Vegas sphere. And then you have the reformer machine. That's the type of experience that I would want to build.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That would be a cool experience. So going back to, you said like building social wealth is a big thing.
Yep.
So what is like your key way now, instead of, you said you're doing everything online, now doing that in person? I saw you have some connections with like Twin Brother Auto Sales. You've done like some other stuff with like a bunch of different people that I've seen at your meets. So I was wondering, what's your one skill, if you had to give like one advice to people?
For building social wealth?
Yep.
Always have something to offer of value to somebody. Okay? Always have something that you can offer of value. Because if you bring shit to the table, nobody wants to talk to you, to be honest. There's only two reasons I can ever personally see why somebody would respond to a cold outreach. It's either A, you're bringing value, or B, they're feeling empathetic. Kind of like a mentorship kind of role. Like, oh, this kid's reaching out to me and like, you know, he just wants advice. Like, yeah, I'm going to help him out. I'm going to do my goodwill. That's the only two reasons. So when I didn't have anything to bring to the table, when I was 19, 20, reaching out to people, I would play... Cut that shit out.
Yeah, bro.
My throat is so dry, bro. Connor, could I get another one? Thank you, bro. But, yeah, I would always do the empathy. Like, so I would cold call people, bro, when I was in college. I had, there was a book I read. It's called When I Stop Talking, You'll Know I'm Dead. And the guy that wrote the book was a Hollywood movie agent, okay? And he was a high school dropout. And then he became the agent for Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt, George Clooney, big-name celebrities. If you've ever seen Ocean's 11, he's the guy that produced it. And he always says, he's like, bro, one of my biggest goals was that I wanted to take Elvis on tour. So if you've ever seen the Elvis movie that came out with the one guy, Austin something, they talk about in there how Elvis first went on tour. That was Jerry Weintraub. He made it a goal as some random guy to get Elvis on tour. How he did it was he was going through the yellow books, found Elvis's manager, called him every single day for 365 days. And on 365th day, they called him the Colonel, Elvis's manager. He finally said, I don't know who the hell you are, but you've been bugging me for a year straight. He goes, if you really want to take Elvis on tour, because he only performed in one town before that, he said, go ahead. And then, of course, 2 years later, Elvis became the sensation because he started going on tour. And so I was in college and I literally made the search on my computer. I said, famous people that graduated from U of M. And I said, let me call all these people and tell them, hey, I'm a fellow Wolverine. I'm a young kid that, wants to learn from another Wolverine. And so I got a lot of advice from people back then about, do this, do this, do this, right? And so I played from the empathy role, and I got mentorship out of it. That got me now to the point where I am, right? Where now when I reach out to people, I can at least offer something back. Like, hey, let's host a car meet. If you host a car meet with us, you're going to get 10 high-quality pieces of content that are going to reach 200,000 impressions across your feed. You're going to host the largest car meet in your city because of us. And every time we host a car meet, it's usually in that city the largest one. And so it brings a lot of exposure to the business, and so people don't have issues with it whenever we reach out now. Back then they did. Yeah. But build up the value and then you have something to offer.
Cool. So what about if someone just like new getting into business? What's like one small thing you'd give them?
About reaching out?
Yeah.
Consistency, man.
Same thing? Consistent?
Yeah, consistency, because you're going to get rejected so much.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in college and I was reaching out, I was sending 200 emails a day.
No way.
200 emails a day. But I had a software for it.
Yeah.
And so I'd get like 4 calls out of it a day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all it's about, man. And know how to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that people really hate about when you're reaching out as a college kid is if you sound super cringe on the phone. I'm sure you've probably done like calls with recruiters or cold calls to people, mentorship calls.
Yeah.
They make you do that. And it's always difficult when you're on the other end and like the kid won't stop saying, thank you for taking this call. I really appreciate your time. I used to be that kid though. And one day, some guy, he was some banker, because I wanted to be in finance when I was in college, so I was calling bankers. And I kept telling him, I said, hey, sir, I want to really thank you for your time, and I really appreciate you. And he said, oh, yeah, no problem. I said, and, again, I just want to make it really and he said, look, dude, advice for the future is try to talk to me like I'm a normal fucking person, not like you worship me. And, that's how he said it, because, he was giving it to me straight. And, I remember after the call, I was like, what a dick that guy was. But he was right. And because of that, I always made sure at least you treat people like a normal person, Okay, we're going to have to wrap it up after I turn this camera on. Man, we're doing a good convo.
Right.
For real. No, we could just keep it on that one.
Yeah, it's fine. We don't need any more shorts or anything. We'll be good. We'll cut these out.
Get Musa in here. Talk about MMA with him.
For real. Yeah, we'll bring in some.
And football.
We'll go through just. No.
Hey Dylan, could you check if Detroit 75 Kitchen is open?
No, they're closed on weekends.
Damn, closed on Sunday. How about, can you check what's that one place that sells the halal pepperoni? Sicily's Pizzeria.
Huh?
Yo, if Big Pink is open tonight, let's go there.
Huh? We'll get another
So you
question
guys-
or two, and then
We actually,
can wrap it up.
did you guys see the?
I'll do
We
it.
did a video shoot.
You ask some questions.
Till when?
Ask about Chiefs. And
8:45.
No.
Okay, but see
No
what they're.
UFC.
Huh?
All right, just say something. Do
No
2
way.
questions, then we'll wrap it up.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
Oh, he wants to film with me now? I'm not ready for a Yusuf podcast. That's. All right, bet.
What was left off on?
Thank you, bro.
I don't know. It don't matter. We're gonna cut it out.
Yeah, it's great.
Hey, what was he
Check their
talking about?
Super Bowl deals.
Yeah, so we'll do that then. Ask 2 questions. One about UFC, one about Super Bowl, and then we'll wrap it up.
I don't know about UFC, but
That's right.
Or no, talk about MMA in general, bro, with him. Talk about
We're
combat.
gonna do 2 more questions, then we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
Sound
Am I
good?
talking too much?
No, you're good.
'Cause I'm
No,
really
you're
enjoying
good.
this, bro.
No, it's good. We'll do another eventually.
just on football. On the
Go ahead.
is it recording?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, in the topic of football. I mean, basic question: who you got and why?
No, I got nobody. I don't like the Eagles.
You like the Eagles?
Can't either win, so we're boycotting just like half the country. Can't have a Kelsey proposal at the end of the game.
You think so?
Yeah, they're killing the sport, man.
I don't know.
Football? You want me to talk about football?
Who you got?
I got the refs.
You got
I got the
That's
refs.
Crazy.
Who's your team then?
49ers, man.
The 49ers?
Ask him how depressed he is, please.
It's playoff losses, Super Bowl losses.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, maybe next year.
big, bro.
You be watching football too or no?
Not a lot, man.
No.
I just watch it enough to be able to make jokes to him when his team loses.
Dang.
I'm being honest.
Dang.
Like if the Niners are playing, I'll make sure that I watch that game just so I understand what
I'm just
happened.
with the Lions, man. I know Lions
Yeah,
lost.
he does.
Dang, for real?
He doesn't care about the Lions games. He'll only go in the fourth quarter if it's a close game and there's a chance that they're gonna lose,
That's
so he can be
crazy,
happy.
bro.
You know?
That is terrible.
That's wild, bro.
Losing, so I ain't gonna. Everyone's a bandwagon.
At least he's sticking to it. He didn't like him
Hey,
before he
for
went
real,
out.
hey.
The fact that you'll be okay with telling the world that you hate the Lions.
I hate the Lions.
Right, especially in a Detroit-based podcast. You're saying you hate the Lions.
That's gonna get clipped. I hate the Lions.
That's crazy. I would never think that.
So when they
Especially
win
you're
the
such a
Super
big
Bowl
football
next
guy.
year, we're gonna make a clip. We're gonna mash up. I hate the Lions, and then the
And then we're
trophy
gonna
getting.
put the trophy up.
Aaron Glenn, Brian Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Offensive coordinator, they're all gone. It's over. The run's over. Back to.
The run's over. It's just getting started.
Dude, that's crazy thing to
That's
say.
crazy.
Especially,
I want to clip it. The Lions next year 6 and 11.
6 and 11.
6 and 11 max.
Okay,
That's
what's the bet
crazy.
we're
Nah.
making?
hey, bro,
Let's make
in
a-
Detroit, in a
Literally.
Detroit-based podcast saying the Lions
So if
suck.
in 1 year that comes out to be true,
If it's not true, I'm cooked.
Next year, when we win the Super Bowl, you gotta get it tatted. We gotta get a bet going.
Hell no. I just leave social media. I'm good.
So what about MMA? You watched the UFC fight last night. What did you think?
Man, that card is trash. I mean, I had Drickus winning. I like Drickus, so I was like, he's gonna win that fight. Ended up winning, but whenever Sean Strickland's fight is always jab.
it's so bad.
It's so boring, bro.
And he
Yeah.
talks the most shit out of
He
anybody.
does, it's
Sean
great.
Strickland. You watch a lot?
Yeah, I just
UFC?
watched it last night.
Okay, bro. The thing about Dricus, you agree, right? He looks so awkward when he fights.
He's very awkward.
It's so flat-footed, but it works for him.
He's very unorthodox. He's like,
And when he rushes, like you're just like you could easily step.
yeah. But he's tough, though. He has good will.
Yeah, good cardio.
What about the heavyweight fight?
Top up, just in top up?
Yeah.
Oh, you watched that one? I didn't
Yeah.
watch that
Well, I
one.
think he broke his nose or something.
Really?
Elbow to the, right to the nose, bro.
Dang.
I think he broke his nose.
I mean, Strickland did too. That looked rough.
Yeah,
bro.
he was trying to snap it in place during the
Ugh.
fight.
I was like, last thing I'd want after someone breaks my nose is tell
To
me to go
touch
fight
it.
some more.
Yeah. What round did he break his nose in? Oh, so it was at the end of the fight. Yeah, and then didn't he put it back in and then Dricus broke it again a second time?
Well, he punched it, but then Sean was running the rest of the fight. He was kind of backing up.
Yeah.
If he took it to the ground, he would have been like pushing on the nose.
Well, you know, he Musa does actual MMA. He has his license.
Yeah, we were
from the
talking
state
about
of
this
Michigan.
before the podcast started. You were
Yeah.
fighting. Yeah.
I haven't trained in like.
But bro, I got a lot of respect for guys that do MMA
Mhm.
because I trained for just like
For fun.
myself.
Yeah.
But like going in there and actually doing a fight,
Dude, it's tough.
and yeah, the whole mental strength it takes is very insane. It really is. I mean, you're going in there to step up willingly and get your face beaten. You know for a fact that you're gonna get hit. It's just about how much you're gonna get hit.
Right.
You know, I actually wanna ask him, kind of like mentally, what goes through your head? Are you scared the day before?
I mean, I had a fight that fell through, but when I was leading up to the fight, I was just focused on weight cutting, bro. Because you can't eat anything.
So you don't get scared of like tomorrow?
Just
You
got-
said you cut 30 pounds, right? And then he backed out.
I was eating chicken broccoli for-
That's insane, bro. 30 pounds down and then he backs out of a fight.
But I gained that 30 in a day. Like as soon as he said that fight just fell through, I just put on 30 pounds that same night. Well, that same 24 hours.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
ate the night and then the morning and then the rest of it, I got a whole bag. And I was on Google like that same next day searching I ate too much, I can't breathe.
I ate too much. I can't breathe.
I was searching I ate too much. I can't breathe. So I had to just chill out, drink water, chill out. So,
Was that the only fight you had?
that was the only one, but then I had some things that happened and like.
Would you step back?
And I just had to stop training, and I tried getting back in, and then something else came up, and I hurt my knee when I came back like the first week.
Oh, for real?
And I haven't been training since.
So you wouldn't step back in and...
I would, but I just don't got time to train.
Right.
You know, it takes a lot of commitment. You can't do this you can't half-ass this. That's the one thing.
Yeah.
What you get.
Yeah, you can't. Because if you show up to a fight and you're like halfway in,
Unprepared.
halfway out.
Yeah, then you get your nose broke.
You get
Yeah.
your ass beat.
That's the part where, like, if you're, like, scared, like, or you're nervous, you have to commit and accept that whatever happens, happens. So you're not half in, half out.
So how about those fighters that show up to their division, but they shouldn't be in that division because they're too fat, like Jamal Hill?
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you have respect for those guys or no?
I mean, he's a good fighter.
Because I wonder, how did they get to the championship level of the UFC? He was a champion and he was fat. It didn't make sense to me.
He's a good fighter.
He got lucky
He got lucky, bro.
against 40-year-old Glover Teixeira.
He got lucky, bro. What are you gonna say? Like, I won the belt.
Right.
But hey, I want to ask you guys, man. Tell us about R5, bro, and kind of when you started, and how many months it's been.
How many months it's
So
been?
it's been like 2
I mean, it's
years.
been about
I'm sorry,
24
years.
to 36 months.
Okay.
It's been 2 to 3 years.
You could have
We
had 4 babies.
Literally, we started it like, I mean, he can kind of give how we initially started, and then I'll go off there.
Okay.
Yeah, so at first it was more like a high school group, more like let's go to car meets together, let's go like hang
Yeah.
outside, because we had all guy in like cars license. He got a RX-8 and I got a WRX in high school,
Nice.
and it was like
That's a sick car to have in high school, bro.
yeah, well it's an old one, but yeah, it's
No,
pretty,
but still, like, everybody probably wanted to go to David's car after class was done, and he's just in
Nah.
the parking lot.
nah, but so that's how it kind of started. It was like I posted on my story, and it was like, oh, like who's in the cars in school, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to go out and like pop out on car meets and all that. Like a couple people swiped up, so I just made a group chat, and then it was like a group of us that went out and started hanging out together. First it was like 5, which is where the 5 came from. It was me and 4 other people, including Jack. And then after that, it's just like more people started hanging out in
So how'd you two meet?
In
high school. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we met in high school, but yeah, like he was saying, we kind of just started as like a high school group, like a bunch of friends going out. Then we got tired of going to other people's car meets, and I was like, all right, let's kick it into gear. Let's host some of our own.
So
You know
what
I mean?
what made it to where you both said, hey, let's partner up on this thing together? Did you guys like have
Well-
a conversation at one point where you were
Yeah.
like, hey, David, Jack, let's do this? Or was it more just over time you just started subtly hosting a meet and then you're like, oh shit, well, we got a whole idea here?
No, it was legit just one day we were at a car meet, but it was it was a good car meet. It was by UCM, and then Jack was just like, yo, we should just do our
Like,
own.
we could do it ourselves.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we could
Yeah.
do this, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I bet. So again, everybody that was hanging out, like we included them, right? And we were like, yo, like let's start doing this, and like, yeah, that's dope. So then it started to build up to that.
Nice.
But the first meet it was like how many cars?
Like 10,
10
20.
cars.
10.
And then we
10
worked
cars.
up. Then the second one was like 50, and then now they're like, they average out like 150 to 300 cars.
Wow.
So like it's solid. They're not crazy huge, but we
No,
like.
but
to
you
keep,
know what? You guys do it consistently.
yeah, consistent.
You guys
and-
host more meets than anybody that I see.
Yeah, and that
we
was
tried
like our
last
thing.
year.
It was like,
That's what we tried.
You guys
to
are
do
on
last year.
schedules and like planning 2-3 months out.
yeah,
And so if you bring 150, I'd rather take 150 people every month versus every 4 months, one big one of 1,000.
yeah,
Because consistency over time in anything, like I said earlier, I keep saying consistency.
yeah,
It is better.
yeah. And that's like now for this coming up season, like we already have all of our summer planned.
Really?
And now we're just
the
waiting
whole
to
summer is
release it.
already
Yeah,
planned.
most of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking
Wow.
to like add 2 more meets to it, but besides that, it's like, and now like we're focusing on still consistency, but at a bigger scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so if you've been around for 2 years, would you say last year is where you started like being more active? And
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Before,
It's more like we try to get more into the marketing side too. Like we
Right.
started to post like more and then try to like promote those posts even more. Like dump more money into it.
So what did you guys find out about Instagram algorithm? Because I
Instagram
know
algorithm.
you've learned
So
something.
I'm looking. Started with like dates, times, posting, all that, like what time to post, and then after that, I went into captions, and then how many hashtags a lot versus a little, and then now it's like more like timing. And I kind of agree. Are getting actual impressions on your reels seems to be the longer ones get more impressions. The short
finally
ones,
found somebody.
the
that
short
agrees
ones
with
get
me.
more views. Like we'll get 25K, 30K views on a short reel, but only 150 likes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Something like smaller. Versus we'll have a minute minute long, talking about our next meet or something, gets 200 likes, and the watch time for that is almost the whole
better.
way.
Right. Yeah, and retention time is huge on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And so some people have such a short video that the retention time is like 2 seconds, but the video is a 4-second video.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a retention time of 15 seconds on a 1 minute long video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm trying to learn about a lot on Instagram now is hooks.
Mm-hmm.
Because
same as us.
yeah, we don't really do hooks. We make a cool ass video and just post it. But I don't think about what are the first 10 seconds going to look like. And it's super important.
And that's what this podcast was for, is for us to learn that these clips, like where to clip, what to clip, and then what does good. And then how we edit those clips,
Right.
where do we want the positioning of the captions, how many words, what words are going to light up, all that stuff.
Yeah, let me ask you this. So doing this podcast, do you feel like it's helped you over time to sort of like learn the art of communication more and learn the art of interviewing and picking people's brain?
Yeah, so that's the reason, like, all my buddies were like, why are you starting a podcast? And I was like, well, the worst thing that can happen, even if we don't grow, is I'm going to become a better communicator.
Yeah.
So.
Which is such a valuable skill in and of itself.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. So, yeah, that's about it. And then we have our merch, stuff like that, but.
Yeah, you guys, when did you guys start making that merch?
Same thing about like last year when we well, the meets before that were kind of dead, right? But then last year we got more consistent. We had some pretty good meets, so we were like, okay, we should try to get a little bit more money to like make these meets better.
So can I ask you about your back end on all that? Your merch. What are you on Shopify?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're in e-com.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And then currently it's what's called, like, what would you say it is? Print to consumer.
Print to consumer.
Yeah.
Currently, until we have enough money to buy inventory.
So did you know that the new tariffs on China that just came out last week has totally fucked drop shipping industry?
Yeah.
Did they increase your prices?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
They did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
January 21st or something.
Really?
Yeah.
You already got hit with it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not by much though. It was only like $1.
It was a couple of dollars. Yeah, but some items, yeah. I mean,
So-
they have like some of our clothes are made here, but it's only like
How
Three
much did they
shares.
increase it?
couple dollars.
Couple dollars. But that's a big, percentage-wise, that's big, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And then like the shipping, because again, like some of the shirts are made in the U.S., but the majority of the stuff is made in China. So like shipping all that inventory out to us is what, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
It's really interesting to hear it directly from somebody because I've been reading all the news and like it's saying drop shipping is nuked. All these other industries that import from China are nuked.
Mm-hmm.
But I never actually knew if they did something to you guys.
Yeah.
And that fast too.
Yeah.
That fast. Wow.
Yeah, no, we knew like right away. We knew before. Like they had on the website.
They were
like,
warning you.
Yeah, the main website we used had basically a thing like, all right, coming January 21st, or whatever, we're gonna implement this. This is what's gonna change.
Wow.
And it wasn't that bad. The website we used wasn't like terrible. So it's not like, okay, we're gonna switch over everything.
Who designs all the merch?
We have
a
someone.
designer.
Yeah, we have a designer.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
So,
Nice,
yeah.
man.
And then we're just working to get so we can eventually do inventory, order in bulk. But we got to
Oh,
make
yeah.
it make sense first.
Yeah, like that guy Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like those.
Ghost. He's from Michigan, is he?
Yeah.
Okay. How young is Ghost?
The only time I ever met him was only for a second. He was at this Bella Isle meet at EM meet, and I have a buddy named Ben, who I guess is kind of close friends with them, but I only talked to him for a second, so I don't know too much about him. He seemed in the similar, a little older than us.
Yeah,
so probably around
that
your
guy
age.
Ghost. Look, Ghost, if you're watching this, man, I want to talk to you. I never met him yet, but that guy's killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
That
he's
guy's
cool.
killing it.
Both Ghost and what's it called? Sana Detroit are probably like the biggest.
Silent Detroit.
No, Sana. That's how you pronounce it, right?
Son.
The ones that had a pop up in Somerset Mall.
Sana,
Yeah,
yeah,
Sana,
yeah,
Detroit,
Sana.
yeah.
Have you been to that store?
I went once just to check it out, but I feel like them and Ghost are probably like the two biggest. Clothing in
it's a cool.
Michigan.
It looks cool on the inside, right? You know that store, Sana? No. In Somerset.
Somerset.
Yeah. You like streetwear, David?
A little bit,
Yeah.
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 I like
Sana's
their
like
hoodies.
streetwear.
No, like I like their clothes. I feel like because they had a pop up in a mall. It's only like they rent it out for a certain amount of time. I think it was December.
Oh, they don't have a physical.
They don't have.
store?
They have a physical store only like in
Oh.
December. They do like pop ups. but most of their stuff is online.
So you can rent out a mall space for like
Dude,
temporary?
probably. I mean,
Because, you know, like the ideas are now turning in my head. I'm like, wait a minute. You're telling me I could be in a mall without a lease? Because what does it take? Why do people love Sana? I'm not even a customer of Sana, but I've been on their brand. It's the brand, the storytelling. You know, his quality looks amazing. And the designs are actually cool too.
Designs are pretty nice.
But yeah, I like this whole like, new thing that's been coming out the past couple of years of brands trying out pop-ups.
Yeah.
You know? And it was really funny because one day I remember reading about someone was hosting a pop-up and I went, when did we just start saying the word pop-up so much and like everyone's now doing a pop-up? But the more you think about it, I didn't even know a brand like Sana, which is honestly huge in Detroit now. And I know he does well, was a pop-up.
Yeah.
I don't know about pop-up restaurants. That's about it.
Pop-up restaurants.
I don't even know about that.
No, those are
I
cool
missed the whole
ideas, too.
pop-up scene.
The whole pop-ups, yeah.
Well, I only
I'm
seen
just on pop-up,
I only
bro.
seen them do it. I've only seen them do it. I ain't never seen nobody else.
We're doing
Yeah,
a pop-up
dude,
podcast.
like that summer shit they had like
That's it,
twice.
bro. I'm too dialed.
The restaurant thing, they just brought the words out. I was like, oh, they do it.
Nah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's like they put like a temporary store like twice in Somerset.
For like a month, right?
About, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't know you could do that either.
Yo, well, hey, we had a great conversation today. Art and Musa, thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate
you,
that you
man.
guys
I
came on. I hope we
appreciate
can
you.
have you guys again on in the future. And I think you guys
Anytime.
brought a lot of good insight to our viewers about what you guys do and how you guys plan to expand in the future.
Absolutely, man.
Appreciate you guys
I'd love
being
to
here,
be
man.
back on. We'll do it again some other time,
Sounds
man.
good. Yes, sir. We'll see you. All right, guys. All good.
The Joe Rogan Show. Check
Good
it out.
Good
check
little
it
show.
out. On Spotify.